Hello everybody and welcome back. My name is Necroxis and this, just right out of the gate, I'm going to let you know this is not a lore video. Basically I'm just leveling an alt and I want to let you guys know a couple of things and talk about a couple of things with you. So I'll probably title this like Necroxis Updates or something corny like that. Mainly I want to talk to you about some stuff that's coming up on my channel, as well as the, let me move my mic a little bit, as the huge event that most people who are interested in video games pay close attention to, and that is E3. And I figure, hey, everybody else is giving their opinions about it, so why not me? First, let's talk about the channel. For those of you who have seen my Lorthamar video, you know that I said I was moving from making one character video per week to one every 2 weeks, and after some feedback I got regarding the whole putting pictures in it, which overwhelmingly people said they didn't care that much because, and this is something I should have figured out, I don't know why I didn't, most people just put my video, I don't know what I'm doing here, most people just put my video in the background while they're doing something else, and obviously that I should have expected that, because the videos are really, really long. They are, you know, I think my shortest one is like 28 minutes, and that was Maev, maybe. Anyway, so I am thinking about releasing them sooner than 2 weeks. I'm going to try and edge closer to one every week, but I'm not going to officially say that, so don't hold me on that. I'm going to edge closer to a week, but still probably, you know, be 8 or 9 days in between. So that's that. Okay, so also I wanted to mention the fact that I have not put up any more videos for the 5.2 Legendary Story, and the reasoning for that is because, shut up, yeah, I know you don't have a target. The reason for that is because I haven't actually finished it yet. You need 12, they're called 12 Titan Runestones from the last 6 bosses in Throne of Thunder, and I only have 5. And I've been doing it since 5.2 came out. So how long has that been? Like, I don't know. 2 months? I think almost 2 months. And it's because Blizzard had decided to make that part of the Legendary Quest have an abysmally low drop rate. I've heard anything from 5 to... I'm going to turn sound off on this. 5 to 15%, and it's probably somewhere in between there. So, not much I can do. They did add a mechanism in the game this week where Leishan will always drop 1, so let's hope. I've done all of the LFR this week except for the final part thus far, so I'll get at least 1 according to Blizzard, so I guess we'll see what happens. But there's been some interesting news. Last night a whole bunch of information about 5.4 came out, way too much for me to even begin discussing on this video, so expect to see some, the 5.4 PTR is not up yet, but expect to see some videos about it very soon when they actually do put it up. What mobs do I have to kill for this? Oh, there's one. Okay. So expect to see videos very soon about that. Finally, talking about E3. There are so many good games this year coming out. I don't think I've ever been this excited for E3 in a long, long time. Probably going back to, when was the last time I was most excited? I don't know, maybe when they announced Twilight Princess, when Nintendo announced it. I was super excited for that, as well as Super Smash Bros. Brawl. As someone who you could probably guess from my channel, his biggest interest is the story in games. I'm actually really pleasantly surprised at how many games this year focus mainly on story. So I'm going to just basically list off a couple of games that I thought were interesting. And not all of these might not have amazing stories, but I still find them interesting, just as a caveat. Okay, so let's begin. I have a small list here. Let's see. Beyond Two Souls. If you haven't heard of this game yet, I mean, just type that into YouTube and embrace the gloriousness of Beyond Two Souls. I believe it comes out... Oh, I'm not supposed to fight this guy, am I? Well, I'm going to do it anyway. I believe it comes out in a couple weeks, or maybe I'm thinking of something else. But it looks absolutely amazing. there's not much more I could say about it. Go experience the awesomeness yourself. Just type that in YouTube and enjoy. Next, Castle of Illusions with Mickey Mouse. Yeah, anybody else play this besides me when they were younger? It was basically like, how can I describe it? It's kind of like a side-scrolling like adventure, not adventure, but like platformer slash adventure game-ish for Sega Genesis. I believe it's on SNES or NES as well. I played it on Genesis though. Anyway, they are remaking it. To my surprise, that kind of hit me out of complete left field when I heard about it. And you know, it's such a great game. I actually still play it now sometimes. Don't crucify me, but I do emulate a lot of older console games, and that's only because, and I mean older, like Sega and SNES and NES. That's about it. And that's mainly because when I was younger, I was stupid and sold a lot of my consoles and games for money that was well below what they were worth. You know, because I was young and I wanted money and I was stupid. So I'm really looking forward to that. Next, Dragon Age 3. Here's where we're getting into the story. Actually, Beyond Two Souls supposedly has a great story too, but Dragon Age 3, it's supposedly the finale, the final game in the trilogy. I don't know if it's a finale to the series, I doubt it, but it looks super interesting. The trailer is narrated by Morgan, so hopefully she's back, because now I get the quest to kill this guy that I just did. And I love Morgan. Who else was in the trailer? Varric was in the trailer. It seems like they gave him an update. I believe it was Varric. I'm pretty sure they were hinting at it being Varric because he had his gun, or his crossbow gun, whatever that was. Looks like they updated his model to make him look more, I don't know, handsome. Like he's supposed to be like this huge player in Dragon Age 2, but he always looked kind of wonky to me. So his model got an update, and it looks really good. The only issue I had is a good chunk of the trailer showed like Darkspawn and a dragon, and I don't know if that's supposed to be another archdemon. I don't know if there's supposed to be another blight happening, because I thought that was the whole point of Origins, is there was a new blight and we dealt with that. And it seems like if they're going with the blight story, then what was the point of all of the setup in Dragon Age 2? Because Dragon Age 2 to me felt like the connecting game. It was, okay, the blight's over, but this other thing is happening. The war between the mages and the Chantry is ramping up. You know, it ends on a note that shit's going down in the next game. You know, Anders blows up the Chantry. And then basically all the mages are revolting. And there are elements of that in the trailer. I could definitely see parts where I can say, okay, that's the Inquisition happening. By the way, that's the subtitle to the game. Dragon Age 3 Inquisition. So I could see that happening in the game, but they also showed the demon and the dragon and the Darkspawn. At least I think they were Darkspawn. They looked just like Darkspawn. They just looked nicer, like everything else in the game. So I don't know what they're doing. Are they trying to have a blight and the Inquisition happening at once? That might be too much stuff going on in one game, especially for a trilogy, like the finale of a trilogy. I don't know. I'm still really looking forward to it. I just wish they would clarify the story, which they've been extremely tight-lipped on. So I'm looking forward to that. Hopefully there's more updates as we're coming along. They still have like a year and a half before it comes out. At least that's what they've said so far, fall 2014. So moving on, Pokemon X and Y. I am a huge Pokemans fan. They announced a new type. I realize I'm just running around now. A new type, Fairy type. Fairy type is very good versus dragons, which is something I thought really has been needed in the game for a long time. Dragons, in my opinion, have been brokenly overpowered. Now, take that with a grain of salt, because I didn't play competitively ever. I've only really played, quote, competitively between my friends. But whenever someone would have a dragon type, it was just busted as hell. So I'm kind of glad they're adding in another type. They're changing some old Pokemon to a fairy type, like Gardevoir. The psychic Pokemon is becoming fairy type. Obviously, they're changing, Jigglypuff and Clefairy. I would probably also guess that they're throwing in maybe Chansey and Blissey. I could see them going to like normal / fairy types, or maybe just straight fairy. So that looks cool. I'm looking forward to that. I still haven't picked a starter yet, because they all look pretty decent, but none of them are like super amazing in my opinion. Wow, there's a lot of guys. So yeah, that's Pokemon. Looking forward to that. Pikmin 3. I love Pikmin. I thought it was a fantastic new IP when the first one came out. This one looks good. They're adding 2 new Pokemon or Pikmin types: the Rock Pikmin and the Flying Pikmin. I believe. I think they're just called Flying Pikmin. But there's no Olimar, and I liked Olimar. So I'm wondering what's the deal with that. They have said that the reason he's not there is a secret, but I'm thinking that maybe the story is Olimar gets lost doing something, whatever he's doing. I mean, Pikmin's never been like a story-heavy game, but Olimar gets lost doing whatever he's doing, and that's why these 4 new captains go out. Hit my mic. Go out and do whatever they're doing. So that looks decent. Next, South Park: Stick of Truth. 2 things to say about this game. One, it looks absolutely amazing, and it's being written by, at least unless they've changed it, it's still being written by Matt Stone and Trey Parker, which it's gonna be hilarious if they still do. There was a trailer at E3, but there was no gameplay shown. It was just like a little funny scene between Randy Marsh, and some other kid. And that's my second point is they need to release the game already. I know THQ went under, but they said the game is still the same. But there's no... even the quote announcement of the release date is Cartman saying, oh, it's coming out this holiday, or maybe another holiday. It's kind of like, you need to really release the game by now. How many years it's been since... Oh, I failed at this. How many years it's been since they've shown it off? I mean, I understand a company went under, but you kind of need to release the game. Okay, now we're getting into some games that I personally liked more than the other ones. So these are probably my top... How many are on here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. My top 6. Watch Dogs is the first one. I'm pretty sure, like Beyond Two Souls, everybody knows what Watch Dogs is by now. If you want to see there's a very extended like gameplay trailer. It was in the Sony conference. I only watched parts of Ubisoft. I believe they show it off in there, but I still think Sony is... Explain to him that he's standing in shallow water. Anyway, Sony... I believe Sony's conference showed off the most for that game, and it looks really awesome. So, looking forward to that. There's not really much I can say about that either, because there's a million videos out about it by this time, I'm sure. So yeah, Watch Dogs. 2, Destiny. Did you guys see this preview of Destiny? It's a new IP. I believe it's on PS4 and Xbox One. It's like a... I can't even... It's like a shooting-ish... RPG-ish, open world-ish, like a lot of things that looks really cool. There's not... I can't explain a lot because there's not a lot I know about it, so it just looks really nice. And I am looking forward to it. And I might actually buy a PS4 because of that game, as well as one coming up I'm going to be talking about. Next, we have Metal Gear Solid 5. Now, admittedly, I've never been a huge Metal Gear Solid fan. I played the hell out of the first 2. I played them a lot. But I was like, 11, 12, 13 at the time, so I didn't understand really what was going on in the story. I mean, even now if I played it, I'm sure the story is still convoluted, but, you know, when you're 13 and your connections in your brain are still, you know, pruning themselves... and your brain's still growing, it was complicated, and I didn't really get a lot of it. So I actually want to kind of go back and play the first 2 now. But anyway, the 5th one looks awesome. Open world usually never goes wrong, in my opinion, when they make a game larger like that. As long as they don't do it at the expense of, you know, good gameplay. Because that's what I always liked about Metal Gear Solid. I always found the story intriguing, even if I didn't understand it, but I liked the gameplay. So, and you know, finally, Kiefer Sutherland, they switched out David Hayter for Kiefer Sutherland. You know, I know a lot of people were angry. You know, it sucks, but I am at least going to give him a chance. I mean, the trailer seemed cool. The gameplay trailer seemed nifty. So, you know, it looked nice. I'm going to give it a try. Next, here's the one I'm talking about for me buying a PS4 maybe, if my PC can't run it as well. Tom Clancy's The Division. You guys see this game? It's a completely new IP. It's like a shooter, but it has RPG elements. It's like set in like the distant or like the near future where society is broken down because of a disease that came out on Black Friday, and it just looks overall amazing. And I'm really looking forward to learn more about it and to getting to actually play it. So now we're getting into the last two. These are my top two. And you could probably tell how much I'm fanboying over them just based on what they are. Number 2 is Super Smash Bros. U. I am probably, if not the biggest, then one of the biggest Nintendo fanboys you will ever listen to or see or talk or meet if you ever meet me. I love Nintendo. I love everything they do for the most part. For the most part. I mean, there are some things I criticize them for, but Super Smash Bros. Has always been one of those game series that I grew up with it. I've played it my whole life. The first one, the second one. Brawl, I didn't play as much, but it was only because I moved away from a lot of the people that I played Melee with. But I still played Brawl a lot. Smash Bros. U looks fantastic. Mega Man is announced as a character, which is cool. I'm not the hugest Mega Man fan, but I still like him. I thought his trailer was awesome. It got me super pumped for the game. Yesterday, they actually announced another character, the Wii Fitness Trainer. And at first, when I heard it, I was like, that's so stupid. And then I saw the trailer for her, and it was actually really funny, in my opinion. So it looks like they're taking it with a grain of salt. They're like, hey, she's in the game, but it's really stupid. It was really silly looking. So I'm really looking forward to Smash Bros. U. Finally, Kingdom Hearts 3. I was fanboying so hard about this when they announced it. I was actually on Skype with Howie and Dunn from But Wait There's Lore, and they actually had to tell me to stop talking about it because I was going on for past an hour. And they only showed, 20 seconds. The half of the trailer for it was just a recap of the other games. So, I'm looking forward to it. I think the graphics got a decent but noticeable upgrade. And that whole scene where Sora's running through wherever that was, Twilight Town, I think, maybe. It could have been Agrabah. It looked kind of like either, in my opinion. And just there's a wave of shadows just chasing him. Looked fantastic. They're finally making it. It's not even announced that it's coming out. The trailer just says, now we're making this game. So I wouldn't expect it for at least 2 years, which is fine. I mean, at least they're making it now. Because Final Fantasy 15, it's 15 now. It's the same game that used to be Versus 13. Final Fantasy Versus 13 becomes Final Fantasy 15. I believe I have that right. I'm a big Final Fantasy fan, but I have kind of lost interest because I just did not like 13. I did not like Lightning. The fact that they made 2 sequels in that universe just really turned me off. But, 15 looks pretty decent, but the whole thing, I'm bringing it up because I believe it was either the developer or the publisher or somebody who worked on it said they weren't going to make Kingdom Hearts 3 until Versus 13 came out. So now it looks like 15 is it's coming out soon-ish, and now they're going on 13, which is awesome. So that's all the games. Now I'm going to wade a little bit into the Sony versus Microsoft debate, because everyone seems to have an opinion about it. Mine might be familiar, but I think the end part's going to take a turn that a lot of people haven't talked about. But to start off with, I loved that somebody finally, or some company finally, I don't know how to explain it better than this. Some company finally cockslapped Microsoft in the face and told them they can't just do whatever they want and expect people to just continue to buy their product. Granted, Sony, I have my legitimate complaints with Sony, but in my mind, here is the simplest way I could describe it. You have 2 companies, Microsoft and Sony. Microsoft came out and announced all of their stuff about Xbox One. There was near universal, not universal, near universal, because I know a few people who actually still support Microsoft, but there was near universal backlash for what they were trying to do. Microsoft's response after getting all this backlash, they're going to continue doing the same thing. Sony saw this, and you could take this either as a pessimist or an optimist. I'm wrestling between either one. Sony saw this and decided not to do the same thing. Now, it's obviously a smart business move, one, but it also, they also listen to the fans. They also listen to the people who are spending their money to get their console, their product. So this is how I look at it. In the end, there's two companies. One listened to their consumers and one didn't. And, regardless of what you think or if you support one company or the other, I think if you look at it that way, even if you love Microsoft, and I have an Xbox and an Xbox 360 and a PS2 and a PS3 and a PS1, so I've had both consoles. I've supported both. I'm mainly a PC player, but I still have supported both companies. I have Nintendo too, but that's a given. And I have no dog in making one company fail, because I don't. People who gain glee from watching other companies fail, I think that's really. It's just it feels like a dirty way to think of things. So I have no wish to see Microsoft fail, but they just are basically just. It feels like they're spitting in my face as a consumer, after me and people who believe like I do that what they're doing is not right. They've basically just said, screw you, we're doing whatever we want. That's how I think about it. So, take that as you will. The only other thing I'll say is, don't... I'm seeing this more and more on the internet as it's going on, because you have the Sony fanboys coming out bashing the Microsoft fanboys, and the Microsoft fanboys are still defending their console. And you know what? To their credit, if they support what Microsoft's doing, I don't begrudge them for believing and supporting the company. They have as much right to their opinion as everybody else does. I simply think they're wrong, but I don't think they're stupid, or I don't think they don't deserve to have a voice. And that's what I'm seeing. People who are on the Sony side are more often than not, from what I've seen on the internet, are basically saying, well, those people are, they're stupid, they don't deserve a voice. Or it gets even worse with people are like, those people are retarded, or just a lot of vile things, and it doesn't. That doesn't help anything. If you're a fan of Sony and you're really angry at Microsoft, don't buy Xbox One. I'm not going to. It'll be the first Microsoft console that I'm not going to get, and it's because I feel like I said, they spit in my face as a consumer. But I'm not going to go tell some people in Buttwaither's lore. I'm not going to say who they are, but there are some people on the forums and on the co-hosts who still like Microsoft. I'm not going to say you're a retarded person, or you're stupid, or you're wrong. I just disagree with you. That's about it. So that's my take on E3 and all Microsoft, Sony versus, SmackDown, all that stuff. Let me know what you think about anything I've talked about today. If you're still listening to me rambling about video games at this point, then thank you for listening this long. I want to talk about one more thing that's not related to any of E3 or that. As I wrap up the video, if you're not subscribed to Pride's channel, which is The Smoking Gamer, you should go do that, because he's beginning to release some more videos called the Azerothian Lore Tours, which is basically a look at the different zones in the game and the lore behind them. And I'm bringing this up because I have become the writer for those episodes. So I'm hoping one day to actually wrangle myself as hosting a couple of them, but right now I'm just writing them. I finished my first one. Pride seems to like it. And I got a list of all the other ones that we're doing now, so look for those coming up. If they come out and you watch them, let me know what you think on the comments of that video, or PM me or something. Let me know what you think of the quote comedy that I add into it. I don't think, frankly, I don't consider myself funny in any way, but Pride seems to have liked it. So let me know what you guys think. Thanks, guys. My name is Necroxis, and I will see you for the next video, which probably will be the next character video. I might release it tomorrow. It's about Terranzu and the Shadow Pan, and I got a request for it because of the whole debate about what Terranzu does in 5.3 towards the Horde. There's this whole argument that I actually didn't know was taking place until I started researching it,
or until I started researching the fan opinion about it. So you'll find all about that in the video. So yeah, look forward to that. And 5.4 is finally coming out in the PTR. So look for the bajillion videos that I'll be making for those. But other than that, thanks guys. Let me know your opinions about E3, or if you think I'm just stupid and rambling about my comments about video games in the comments below. Alright, see you guys. And I didn't stop recording yet, so this is now behind the scenes. I need one more canister. There we go. Alright guys, I will see you later. Peace.